What kind of restaurant?
So like mix of Latin fusion in Russian,
Ah.
and we have a full bar.
Uh-huh. That's cool.
It was fun. It's got the southern feel, you know. Hey guys.
The southern feel. Yeah.
The food tastes different. Climate is
Was it warm? Yeah, humid.
It's humid and warm, and moisture brings good. It wasn't at our house.
Right.
That helped quite a bit. It's actually nice when it's warmer when it's rainy. We have like totally opposite.
Right. Well, usually it rains.
We have so different. Like the ocean is so warm. I was so
Right. Well, it's Atlantic. Or are you on the west side? No, Atlantic. Yeah.
Atlantic, yeah. South. She's architecture is nice.
Yeah. Well, when they start rationing the water here, it'll be time to go. They're gonna start rationing the water here.
Really?
Yeah, that's when it's the time to get out of here.
Oh yeah.
Are we still in a drought? Is that still a thing?
Huh?
Are we still in a drought? Is that a thing?
I don't know. Whatever they say, it's the opposite. That's what I think.
Yeah, because
JJ, you're fired, by the way, when I asked you to do that recording.
When was that? Oh, that was a while ago now, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like you just, like, you're like, call me, I called you, we just,
No, we didn't connect on that.
disaster.
Work's been crazy.
Huh?
Work has been crazy, but
Oh.
did you end up finishing the track?
Yeah, I already had, but I just wanted something real, but yes, I finished it. Because I couldn't keep waiting. I was like, you
No,
know,
I understand that.
and I didn't want to like bother you. Like if you're not, I thought, well, if he's not calling, he's not interested.
No, it was just a lot of things going on right before the holidays and everything, but I'm glad it got finished.
What?
I'm glad it got finished. Like I didn't want to hold you up.
No.
my body is like somewhere between right now.
Florida and California?
Here, yeah. So I'm having like either like eyes start like watering or just the cold. Maybe just like what?
I'll let you know, just like looking around it.
Yeah. Do that because I might like lose out.
There might be one in the kitchen. Do you want me to go check?
Tissue?
I think for his eyes. I don't know.
It's very dry. A lot of it's just how dry it is.
Just remember the AC pumping in here, so I double layered.
Because of what?
The AC.
No,
It's like
I'm like, hope my music doesn't blow off.
bet. I bet. It's different.
Bill, do we just do the normal repeat on this movement around and around, or we go back to letter B? The top of the second page? Okay. From the first ending back to there. Right? Only God knows. This is why I don't have a real wood bow anymore.
Right. Or like 3 years ago.
Or even like three. Yeah. Oh, that's when you said this.
Okay, it's 6:33. Let's start. How is the homeless in Florida? Miami.
Very few.
Very little.
So they don't allow you to have camps anywhere like anywhere. So if you catch somebody sitting out,
They take their stuff or they kick them out? They move them? Oh, wow. It's so bad here. It's like this city is just going into a hole of caca. It's so sad. This place used to be so amazing, and it's just getting worse and worse. Did you see what they're doing in Culver City? You're never in Culver City, are you?
Which part?
They're doing this thing like downtown and a little bit east.
Oh, like
Kinda
the
near my
arts
place.
district? Like
Huh?
the one, you're talking about the one lane in the arts district?
The Road Diet.
The road what?
It's called Road Diet.
oh yeah, they're narrowing it because they're giving it to bicycles.
Well, the off of my Adams, it's like green for bicycles, but then on Washington, between like where National and Washington are, like right where the platform, it's all red for the bus, which never goes there. And then they put, you know how they have the cement blockades when you park? They're all down.
They're on the like
It's-
first lane
no,
over.
they're actually on the road, and you know, there are going to be so many accidents just because of those cement things. And then they're painting. So they painted on Washington around like some of the curbs. They painted this dark blue with flowers and butterflies inside on the round, like where the street is. They made these big round, and they put these white pylons that don't move. I mean, you can bump into them in your car up. But it's like, I don't know who's doing this, but you know the millions of dollars are going into that.
Oh yeah,
Meanwhile,
for the construction to build it, yeah.
Meanwhile, there's all these people on the road that we're paying tax on. I mean, I don't know. I think people should get out of here. That's what I think. I need to get out of here. Right? Not to mention we're paying so much money for everything here. Taking money. Where? For what? That's the thing. They want different instruments like the whole time. So this weekend I have harp the first day and then violin the second day. Next week maybe I'll have Leo and then maybe a flute player. And then the next week, I don't know, guitar maybe and harp again. Yeah, I can't have it like the same thing every day. Yeah. Something different. What's your A, Bill? Do you know about the road diet? Oh my God. That's a whole nother conversation we need to have. It's happening where I live. Culver City and West Adams. And the millions they're putting into it to make the traffic 1,000 times worse is basically what's happening. Leo, get ready. Leo, get ready for Oh my God. You're kidding.
Wait, I'm turning mine on. Okay.
Right? It's cute.
It's a good idea, so you encourage you to put your keys on top of your phone. Because otherwise, I know one of us will drive home without a phone. Right?
It looks well made.
Good evening, everyone. Shabbat Shalom.
Oh, Shabbat Shalom.
You are the faithful few, and we are glad to see you on a holiday weekend. We're glad you're with us. We're going to have a beautiful service together. I also want to welcome everyone who's watching from home, eating leftovers tonight. We're glad you're with us also. We're going to have a couple of bar mitzvah boys, a couple of bar mitzvah boys, soon to be bar mitzvah men, joining in our service tonight, and we're going to have a beautiful service together. And I wish you all a beautiful Shabbat Shalom. Rabbi Nanis' Shabbat message pointed something out pretty amazing, which is very rare, actually, that we have Thanksgiving on Thursday, Shabbat, and then Hanukkah. It's the Jewish trifecta, she called it. It's pretty rare. So let us begin. We're starting with L'chun Ranana.
L'chun Ranana, this section of our opening part of the service, all was really created by the Kabbalists, the Jewish mystics, and they wanted to greet Shabbat with all these beautiful psalms that charge us with going out into the world, on Shabbat going out into the fields and welcoming God with song. Almost all these psalms are about singing to God, singing to God. Sing your gratitude to God. So L'chun Ranana, let us sing to God, and it's a Hasidic tune, so even if you don't know the words, you can always sing Lai Lai Lai, or Dai Dai Dai, or My, any of those work, right? So keep singing L'chun Ranana, we're on page 12.
L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, Adonai. L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, Adonai. Naria, Naria, L'tzui Shenu, L'kadma Patan L'toda. Naria, Naria, L'tzui Shenu, L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, Adonai. L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, Adonai. Naria, Naria, L'tzui Shenu, L'kadma Panav L'todah. Naria, Naria, L'tzui Shenu, Izmirot Narialo. L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, Adonai. L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, L'chun Ranana, Adonai.
I think think you're awake now?
All right.
The adrenaline is flowing.
Let's invite forward now. Claudia, would you please come on up? And Gina, would you please come on up? And we also have grandmother here too, so come on up, Grandma. And we're going to light our candles. We're on pages 2 and 3. Come on, Stu, get your mom up here. Come on. There we go. You go to the far table. Gina, put you there. Count to 3 and everybody. Page, the English is on page 3 on the top. This paragraph.
Great.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Beautiful. Now light these. Yeah, foolproof.
We join together, we bring that light in, the light of Shabbat, and we sing together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys.
On page 22, we're going to follow with another of these Kabbalat Shabbat Psalms, Psalm 92. This is a psalm of gratitude. We're asked to give thanks to God. It is good to praise and to give thanks to God for all that exists in the world, the entire natural world. So we sing this. And
in the morning until the evening.
That's exactly right.
Right? So this is not something that we do once a day, once a week, once a year. Something we are called to do all day, every day, is to find moments of gratitude.
Indeed. This particular melody, there are 2 of these melodies you're going to hear tonight that were composed by young, talented musicians who were born in America and moved to Israel. And they are composing hundreds of new songs for the synagogue. They're singing them in the synagogues in Israel, and they're singing them here in the United States now. The composer's name is Kayla Dennis, about a 34-year-old young woman. And this is her setting, and here's what's interesting to me, and I think you'll find it as well. Both of these settings sound like American folk songs. That's why I chose to sing them tonight, it being Thanksgiving weekend. They sound like some kind of version of Shenandoah. Right? So, simple and easy to sing along with, so let's begin on page 22. מזמור שיר יום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר יום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. ולזמר שמך עליון, ולזמר שמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. ולזמר שמך עליון, בחסדך ואמונתך בלילות. צדיק כתמה יפרח, כארז בלבנון יזכה, שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינובון בשיבה, ושנים רעננים יהיו. להגיד כי ישר אדוני, צורי ולב לתבוא. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני. וזמר לשמך עליון, וזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות.
Let's turn to back now to pages 20 and 21, and in just a moment, we're going to sing the Chadodi, and I want to share a little story with you about something I did today, which is the first time I've ever done anything like this, and how it relates to the last verse of the Chadodi. I was asked to speak for 10 or 15 minutes to record a video for a group of evangelical Christian mothers whose sons are in prison. And, you know, it was a strange request to come to me, but it did. And of course I said yes. And so I looked at the Parsha for this week, the Torah portion for this week. And amazingly enough, it talks about Joseph in prison. And makes the point that God was with Joseph even in prison. And I said to this group by video, Jews all over the world, starting, this weekend, will be reciting those verses from Torah about God being with Joseph even at his lowest, even in prison. And I said to them, and that's being said by millions of Jews all over the world. And I hope I conveyed the power of that sentiment, of millions of Jews doing something together all over the world. And in this case, something that I hope would comfort them. This is also true of the last verse of the Chadodi, which is the last verse of this acrostic poem where Jews all over the world stand and face the entrance of their synagogues to symbolically welcome Shabbat into their hearts, their families, the congregation, and the Jewish people and the world. Jews all over the world in 24 different time zones, of course. It's kind of like, I think of it as like a wave at a stadium, a fan wave at a stadium. This welcoming of Shabbat is circling the globe, and we're doing our part tonight in our hour of that global community of welcoming Shabbat. Pages 20 and 21. We're going to do verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. Tradition.
That's right.
Okay, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And remember, the 9th verse, we rise, face the entrance to the synagogue, and bow to welcome Shabbat.
And this setting, this melody again by a young Jew who moved to Israel, Joey Weissenberg, a nice Jewish boy. And it also sounds like, this one even sounds a little bit more like Shenandoah, right? So join with us. It's just perfect for this night. Shabbat,
verse 2.
לקראת שבת, לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. לראש מכלם לסוכה, סוף מעשה למחשבה תחילה. אדוני לקראת קרב, ונשמה לקבלה. ולך אדוני לקראת קרב, ונשמה לקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעורף קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נקרא. לך אדוני לקראת קרב, ונשמה לקבלה. לך אדוני לקראת קרב, ונשמה לקבלה. אוי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמונה עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך אדוני לקראת קרב, ונשמה לקבלה. לך אדוני לקראת קרב, ונשמה
Chatzi Kaddish, page 26.
יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
ילמד וירקרותי וימליך מלכותי.
בחייכון וביום נכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל בעגלה, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם עולמי המיה. יתברך,
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרמה ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה.
בריחו
בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושיערתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה. ואמרו
Amen. We rise for the Baruch Hu, page 28.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Olam, page 32. Let's be seated, and we want to invite Andrew and Noah up to lead us in the Ve'ahavta, which you'll find on page 36. Page 36, in case you need them. You can take your mask off. Right here. All right, guys, you can take your mask off. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, ושבתך בביתך, ובאלך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהים, אשר הוצאתי אתם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם לאלוהים. Ani Adonai Elohim.
Let's all read together in the English on page 37 as Andrew and Noah take a great sigh of relief. Page 37, please join with me. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God.
Adonai Elohechem emet.
Micha Mocha, page 40. There's a saying in the Talmud, Mikol Talmidai Hiskalti. From each of my students, from every one of my students I have learned. I have to tell you about an amazing experience I had, another one today. I was editing a bat mitzvah speech sent to me by just a wonderful, wonderful kid, Obi Mand. And Obi offered an insight to the Micha Mocha I had never, ever thought of before in my 34 years as a rabbi, and never heard a bar bat mitzvah think of before either. So Obi said, you know, this crossing of the sea, the thing that's interesting to me is this Miriam played the tambourine. Now, why is it the Jews didn't have time for their bread to rise, so they had to run and flee with just flat cracker matzah, but they had time to pack their tambourines? And Obi said, with all due respect to all the tambourine players, it makes no sense. And then Obi said, it only makes sense if Miriam and the other women knew, they had deep faith and knew that they would cross the sea successfully to freedom, and that the packing of the tambourines was an expression of complete and total faith. I thought that was very powerful. So Rabbi Obi is with us tonight as we sing the Micha Mocha, these very words that Miriam and the women sang and danced and played their tambourines to when they found themselves free on the other side of that narrow place called Mitzrayim, Egypt. Page 40, Micha Mocha.
Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael.
Amen. Hashkivenu, page 42.
We shall keep the Sabbath. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית העולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השני שבת ואם נפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Now we want to invite Noah and Andrew back up, and they're going to lead us in the Amidah, which begins on page 46. Everyone please rise.
mata tifta, ufia gita hilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh HaKol, V'zoher Hasdei Avot ve'imavot, U'mevi Olam Ibnei Bneihem, Le'man Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Ata, Rav Hoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, U'morid HaGashem, Mechakel Hayem Behesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabbi, Somech Noflim Ve'rofeh Holim, U'matir.
Let's be seated, everyone.
If you'll turn now in your prayer books to page 58, we'll conclude the Amidah with our Jewish prayer of thanksgiving. Modim Prayer. We acknowledge with gratitude that God is God. Feel free to read through the translation. The setting I'm about to do is both in Hebrew and in English, and I think it's a truly beautiful contemporary setting that kind of merges the traditional Hebrew text and also a creative interpretation that's more contemporary, and it will remind you perhaps of Sondheim, another great Jewish composer.
Le
אנחנו לך מודים, אנחנו לך מודים, אנחנו לך לעולם ועד עמיסך שבכל יום עמנו, שבכל יום עמנו, לעולם נפלאותיך וטובתך, ערב ובוקר בצהריים. For the laughter of the children, for the way they greet the day, for the endless stream of questions they remind us how to pray, and for the ones we call beloved who take away our fear. They tell us without saying it, remember I am here, remember I'm here. Modim, אנחנו לך, modim, אנחנו לך, modim, אנחנו לך, לעולם ועד. סור חיינו, מגן אישנו, אתה הוא לדור ודור. מודים אנחנו לך, לעולם
Beautiful. Feels like there should be an intermission. Some snacks in the lobby.
Turkey sandwiches.
Come back and see the third act. That was beautiful. Really beautiful. Page 253. Page 253, you'll find the Misha Berach in the middle of the page, this prayer we recite on behalf of people we love who are ill. Once again, it seems illness is sweeping across the globe. So many people suffering. So if there's someone in your heart who's ill, near or far, at home or in the hospital, wherever they may be, if they're in your heart and you'd like us to sing the Misha Berach for them tonight, please just stand and recite the name or the names when I point to you, and then we'll join together in the Misha Berach on page 253. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And happy Thanksgiving weekend and happy Hanukkah. Lots of blessings around us. Let's talk about giving thanks tonight. I'm going to be brief, not just rabbi brief, but actually brief. There's a rabbi in Chicago whose name is Rabbi Neil Brief, and the kids' confirmation class changed his first name to Not So. It's a true story. They called him Rabbi Not So Brief. In any case, the word for Jew, I think a lot of us know, is Yehudi. It comes from the same root as the word Todah, which means thank you. So as much as we often refer to ourselves as the children of Israel or the people of the book, really the name, the word Jew, really we should name ourselves the people of gratitude, the people of giving thanks, because that's embedded in the very name Jew. We talked about the Modim Prayer tonight. This prayer goes back 11 centuries in the first prayer book, codified prayer book that we know of. The first words we say when we awake in the morning, Modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shehechazarta bi nishmati v'chemla rabba emunatecha. Thank you, God, for returning my soul, my breath to me. We say thank you the very first thing we do when we awaken in the morning. I debate within myself, what is the most important word in the Hebrew language? And to be honest with you, I'm kind of like a politician on this one. It depends on the audience. So when I'm at the nursery school graduation, which we call kadima, which means to move forward, I say kadima is the most important word in the Hebrew language. And in that context, I really feel that way, that we're a forward-looking people. Other times I've said that l'chaim is the most important Hebrew word, that we're a people that affirms life. But there's a third candidate in the running that I want to briefly talk about tonight, which may well be the most important of all Hebrew words, and it's a word that we all know, and that word is dayenu. Dayenu, 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 dayenu. It would have been enough. We think of that song as so related, that word so related to Passover, which of course it is, but it's also related to the entire idea, the Jewish concept of giving thanks. And let me explain what I mean. I just want to talk about one verse in Dayenu. There are 15 verses in Dayenu. And normally when we sing them, and Cantor Gurney knows this, we don't sing the entire verse. We sing the first half of the verse, like Ilu natan lanu et Torah Dayenu, right? We don't sing the whole verse. There are 15 verses, and each verse has a negative part. For example, if God had not destroyed their idols and had not smitten their firstborn, Dayenu, it would have been enough. So I want to talk about one verse quickly, which is interesting. If God had split the sea for us, but had not taken us through it on dry land, Dayenu, it would have been enough. Now think about that for a moment. If God had split the sea for us, but not taken us through, it would have been enough. What would the point be of splitting the sea if God wasn't going to take us through to the other side? And I think there's a deeply spiritual notion embedded in this, that we express our gratitude for each small blessing, each step of the way. Thanksgiving became an official holiday in 1863, declared by Abraham Lincoln. Now, 1863 was the height of the Civil War. It had not been decided. There was misery all around. And Abraham Lincoln said, we pause and we express our gratitude on both sides. Both sides have reason to be grateful, even though they were in the midst of a battle, in the midst of a war, and they had no idea what conclusion would result. Almost like splitting the sea, but not crossing it yet. I think this is a deeply Jewish idea that we express our gratitude not for the end result, not for the destination, but for every small step along the way. And I really hope that that gives us all a moment of pause. That we don't have to wait for a problem to be fully resolved. We don't have to wait to lose all the weight or to make the entire change or to repair the entire relationship. Every step is dayenu. Every step is worth our gratitude. And I hope we approach each other and our lives that way, because that's the essence of gratitude through the eyes of the Jew. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Speaking of gratitude, I want to say a special thank you to Cantor, Gurney, and our musicians. I don't know how much you realize it. I'm sure you realize it to a pretty substantial degree. There was so much intention in the service tonight, in the music. It's so layered with melodies that are uniquely American, infused with some Israeli special sauce, and also a real emphasis on the Psalms of gratitude and the prayers of thanksgiving. So thank you, Don, for your beautiful music and your selection, and thank you to our musicians who are.
Yeah, it wouldn't have sounded like anything if not for them, for sure. I'm going to add a personal note to this because I wanted you to know this. When I had this brilliant pianist and arranger arrange that the Mizmor Shir, and I was just going through a book. These are all new compositions from Israel, right? And I found it. I thought this sounds American. I'm going to sing it for Thanksgiving weekend. And I told Chris Hardin, I said, do you know the Tom Waits song, Waltzing Matilda?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. I said, make the accompaniment sound like that. Because that song, we've shared this before, the first time I heard it, it broke my heart.
Yeah.
The lyrics are one thing, but that music, it's very American sounding, right?
Yeah.
I said, give me some of those passages under Mizmor Shir.
And Tom Waits was at his smoky, boozy best in that rendition
But I
too.
realized that's why, for me, it's also so emotional. That song, it tugs at you. There's something nostalgic.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Introduce our musicians.
Bill Beck at the keys, celebrating his 49th year with Wilshire Boulevard Temple. 49th year. He was just a little boy when he came to us.
They're saving a spot on Mount Rushmore for you,
That's
Bill.
right.
You're the best. Go on.
From the top down, Jordan Ross on percussion. And you should all know that Jordan is a graduate of the Browerman Elementary School at Wilshire Boulevard Temple. Rabbi Leader and I have known him since kindergarten. Right? First class.
Number one.
First class at Wilshire Boulevard Temple's Browerman Elementary School. Leo Shelyapov on the woodwind instruments, clarinet and flute and duduk and saxophone. And Hope Easton, the great Hope Easton on cello.
And by the way, a cello built in 1776. It's as old as our nation.
American Italian.
American Italian, yeah.
Silly Italian, but
Yeah, 1776. It's as old as our
These things
nation.
converge. And
See, we figured all of that out.
you mentioned 1863 when
Yeah.
Lincoln made that proclamation and Wilshire Boulevard Temple opened.
1862.
1862,
Yeah.
one year before.
Yep. Okay. I don't know. We're out of stuff. That's all we got. Sorry.
Wait, did you hear the one about
That's all we got. It's really, really good to be together, and thank you for being here. Thank you for all of you who are watching at home. I'm going to just make one brief announcement. We already talked about Hanukkah. We're going to have a special klezmer Hanukkah with a latke bar, and that'll be Friday night, on the 3rd of next Friday night.
Right
so
here in this sanctuary.
yeah, so please come back next Friday night for a special klezmer Shabbat. It's going to be really fun and really beautiful. And for the rest of it, read your emails. Yeah, don't treat the temple emails like junk mail, because it's not junk mail. There's just so many amazing things happening. And congratulations to Noah and to Andrew and to your families. You did a beautiful job tonight. We're really proud of you, and we're looking forward to tomorrow. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. Let's now turn to page 282. Page 282. Please rise for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
We're about to enter into moments of Kaddish. And I think that death is one of those times that can make us feel somehow robbed, shortchanged, wishing and wanting more. Very often, I will be sitting with a family before a funeral, and I'll hear something like, "Rabbi, in 3 more weeks, he would have been 90. Rabbi, in another week, they would have been married 65 years. As if 64 years and 51 weeks is somehow not a full and complete blessing. So in just a moment, we're gonna say Kaddish. I'm gonna read the names first of those who have died during this Shloshim this past 30 days, followed by the names of those whose yortzites, the anniversary of whose deaths were commemorated this past week. And we normally end with Oseh Shalom, but we're not going to end with Oseh Shalom tonight. We're going to end with Dayenu. This idea that each step, each day, each year, each decade, each moment is its own complete blessing and opportunity for gratitude. But first, we begin with the names of those who've died during this Shloshim, and then followed by yortzites. If you're here tonight for Shloshim or yortzeit, please rise. I'll then read all the names, and then the rest of us will rise and join with you in the Kaddish, which is on page 294. We begin first with the names of those who have died during this past 30 days. Philip Bartmasser, Dennis Karen, Rena Rosa Elishar, Harriet Eppert, Harry Golden, Yafa Hagnazazadeh, William Leisner, Shirley Lind, Estelle Markowitz, Kurt Myers, Helen Walder Rogoway, Ronnie Vine, and Barbara Werlin. We add to their names the names of those whose yortzites were commemorated during this past week. Celia Adler, Julius Adler, Isaac Alex, Barbara Alpert, Sarah Ansel, Harry Arden, Irene Backrack, Sam Bailey, Sarah Barenboim, Gertrude Barnathan, William Becker, Jerry Bendit, Beth Benson, Philip Berman, Faye Alban Bolanek, Yehuda Boudet, Ralph Bookman, Joseph Brandis, Leo Brandis, Sam Breitbart, Evelyn Buckspan, Charlie Berger, Reva Burstein, Rochelle Canali, Earl Cherniak, Max Coleman, Ruth Rebecca Cohen, Ruth Dubin, Henry Epstein, Sanford Fagadav, Anna Feinberg, William Feinberg, Betty Feldman, Phoebe Feldman, Giza Fish, Hyman Fischler, Nathan Fleischer, Robert Frank, Melanie Freestadt, Morris Martin Glass, Lawrence Glucken, Abraham Goldberg, Martin Goldman, Richard Goldstein, Sam Gordon, Lisa Grunner, Joseph Haddad, Bertha Heitner, Richard Heller, Benjamin Hollenby, Victor Israel, Celia Jacobson, Max Kaplan, Madeline Carnes, Bess Katzinger, Alexis Brooke Kaufman, Leslie Keller, Richard Harold Kent, Meyer Kessler, Harriet King, Eva Kirshner, Max Cole, Jonathan Konov, Paulina Konov, Carl Kossower, Arnold Krull, Joseph Labens, Nat Levy, Lois Liebhaber, Pearl Lindheim, Sarah Lippo, Anna Malin, Arlene Matthews, Nell Mendelson, Daniel Miller, Joseph Mittler, Marie Morin, Peter Meyerson, Bernice Parker, Joan Perlmutter, Dorothy Plager, Molly Pollip, Pearl Post, Donald Relkin, Irving Revitz, Francis Richter, John Rosenblum, Alpha Marie Russell, Benjamin Sachs, Yadida Saleh, Gilbert Salka, Francine Salter, Carol Schachter, Rose Schneider, Nancy Schmidt, Pauline Schulman, Mary Schaefer, David Stewart Scher, Goldie Silverstein, Ivan Sloan, George Smith, Howard Sobin, Richard Sonnenberg, Ralph Stacker, Irving Stearns, Martin Sternberg, Herman Sugarman, Bernard Tuman, Sidney Walks, Leon Wallace, Leslie Weitzman, Hannah Wolf, Leora Wolf, Frank Yablans, Martin Young, and Charles Lotkin. Are there any other names to add to Kaddish this evening? We also call to mind those we do not know, but to whom we are grateful, deeply grateful, those who have died defending the United States of America and the state of Israel, the innocent victims of terrible tragedies, terrorism all over the world, and everyone who has no one to say Kaddish for them. We take them all as our own. Please rise now as we join together on page 294 in Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'b'yomechon u'b'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. B'gala u'v'zman kariv ve'imeru.
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam u'amel maya. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush b'chata v'nechamata. Da'amiran ba'alma v'imeru. Amen. Yehei shalom Rabbah min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru. Oseh shalom bimromav. Uyaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen.
Ilu ilu hotzianu
Hotzianu mi Mitzrayim, Hotzianu mi Mitzrayim, Dayenu. Let's hear it. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu.
Natalanu, Natalanu, et HaTorah.
Natalanu et HaTorah. Dayenu, 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 Dayenu.
Natalanu, Natalanu, et
Shabbat,
HaShabbat.
Natalanu et HaShabbat. Dayenu. Let's go. Dayenu,
Dayenu, Dayenu, Dayenu, Dayenu,
Dayenu, Dayenu, Dayenu, Dayenu, Dayenu. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Andrew, Noah, come on up here with your families, and we're going to do Kiddush and Motzi, all of us together. Kind of felt like Pesach there for a second. Yeah. All right. Noah and Andrew, you guys grab that Kiddush cup. Now let's join together in Kiddush.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri ha'gafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'ratzon ichilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techilah lemikra'e kodesh, zecher letziat mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava u'ratzon, inchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh Shabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Pull that mask off and drink that.
It's just grape juice, guys. Go ahead.
Take it off. Take it off.
Chug, 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 chug.
Now let's uncover our challahs. Go ahead, uncover those chalot.
But now uncover the challah. The challah is
And
actually
please
challah.
join us in Motzi, everyone.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. I know we sang Dayenu, but you can have the challah. You're welcome. Thanks, George. Shabbat shalom.
I guess it's settled. You have to do your bar mitzvah tomorrow morning. You need to do a different portion, but I'll let that go. Just do the same one. You're okay. You're welcome. Shabbat shalom. See you this week. Tonight. Okay. And you, how old are you? 11.